The lights inside the Ireland's Got Talent theatre glow softly as the audience settles into their seats. There is a quiet excitement in the air because tonight the show promises something unforgettable. The host walks to the center of the stage smiling, but there is a seriousness in the tone as well. He tells the audience that some auditions are not just performances, they become history. The camera moves backstage where a poor young contestant stands alone. This contestant has traveled from Davao City in the Philippines. Their clothes are old and faded, shoes worn thin by years of walking. Their hands tremble slightly, not from fear alone but from the weight of a lifetime of struggle. Their eyes carry a story before a single word is spoken. The host calls the contestant onto the stage. The walk feels long and heavy. Each step echoes through the hall. The audience watches closely. Some whisper to each other, noticing how humble and fragile the contestant looks. The judges exchange glances. One judge leans forward, another rests their chin on their hand, sensing something important is about to happen. The contestant reaches the center of the stage and stands under the bright lights. For a moment they shield their eyes, then look up, slowly taking in the massive crowd. The host asks their name and where they are from. The voice that answers is soft but steady. They say they are from Davao City and they come from a very poor family. They explain that their home is small and their life has been full of hardship. They practiced their talent wherever they could, sometimes on the streets, sometimes at night when the world was quiet. As they speak, the audience grows silent. One judge nods gently, another judge's eyes soften, already filled with emotion. The host thanks them and invites them to begin. The music starts slowly, filling the theater with a deep emotional sound. The contestant begins their performance. Every movement, every note, every expression feels raw and real. It is clear this is not just talent, it is pain, hope and survival combined. The audience leans forward, completely absorbed. The judges' reactions change second by second. One judge's eyes widen in disbelief, another presses their hand to their chest as if feeling the emotion physically. Tears begin to form as the story unfolds through the performance. As the act continues, the contestant pours everything into the moment. Years of hunger, loneliness and dreams come pouring out. The camera cuts to the judges. One judge is already wiping away tears, another shakes their head in amazement, whispering that this is unbelievable. The audience is no longer just watching, they are feeling every second. Some people are crying openly, others sit frozen, unable to look away. The performance builds, reaching an emotional peak that fills the entire room. The contestant's face shows both strength and vulnerability. Their body language tells a story of someone who has been ignored, overlooked and underestimated. Their talent, however, is undeniable. It commands the stage. The music swells and then suddenly stops. The final moment hangs in the air. Silence takes over the theater. No one claps, yet no one speaks. The contestant stands still, breathing heavily, eyes closed as if afraid to look up. Then slowly applause begins. One clap becomes 10, 10 become hundreds, and then the entire theater explodes into a standing ovation. The audience rises to their feet, cheering, shouting and crying. The contestant opens their eyes in shock, unable to believe what is happening. Tears fall freely. Now the judges stand as well, applauding with emotion written all over their faces. One judge is openly crying, another wipes their eyes and walks toward the edge of the desk, trying to speak but struggling to find words. When the applause finally settles, the judges begin to speak. Their voices crack with emotion. One judge says they have seen thousands of auditions, but this one feels different. Another says this performance touched their heart in a way they will never forget. They talk about courage, about coming from nothing and still standing strong under the brightest lights. Tears continue to fall as they speak. The contestant listens, hands shaking, overwhelmed by the love and support. One judge stands up again and says this is not just an audition, this is history. They call it one of the most powerful moments ever seen on Ireland's Got Talent. The audience cheers again, louder than before. The judges look at each other, nodding together without hesitation. They press the buzzer as golden lights flood the stage. The sound fills the room like thunder. The contestant drops to their knees, crying, unable to hold back the emotion. The host rushes forward, helping them stand. The judges leave their seats and walk onto the stage, hugging the contestant, offering words of encouragement. The audience continues to clap, some chanting, some crying. The camera captures faces in the crowd filled with tears and smiles. This moment is bigger than talent. It is about hope, resilience, and the power of being seen. As the contestant looks out at the crowd, they speak through tears, thanking everyone. They say they never imagined someone like them from Davao City could stand on this stage. They say this moment changes everything. The judges nod, wiping their eyes. The host places a hand on the contestant's shoulder as the applause continues. The performance spreads across the world. People watch it again and again. Millions of views pour in, comments flood social media, calling it one of the most emotional auditions of all time. The story of a poor contestant from Davao City touching hearts on Ireland's Got Talent becomes a symbol of hope. The audition is shared across countries, inspiring others who feel invisible to believe in their dreams. Back in the theater, the lights slowly fade as the contestant leaves the stage, still in shock, still crying, still smiling. The judges return to their seats, taking deep breaths, trying to compose themselves. The audience remains standing for a long moment, refusing to let the feeling fade. This audition will not be forgotten. It will be remembered as one of the most viewed auditions of all time, because it reminded the world that true talent is born not from comfort but from struggle, and that sometimes the most powerful performances come from those who have nothing but heart.